Hi, first grade.
Hello, first grade,
This is Mrs. Kunda,
and Mr. DeStefano.
and we are here with part two of our East African Savannah Habitat Listen and Learn lesson. We are so excited to be back with you. We miss you so much. Teaching this is not the same without you here with us.
Okay, and a reminder that in this unit we're learning nonfiction. All of our texts are nonfiction. Nonfiction means not fake, it's real. So we're going to be reading about real things that are true in real life. And many times, but not always, when we read a nonfiction text, they use real photographs like they do in the text we're reading today, except for our friend Rattenborough. He's not real, but everything else is. Everything that we're learning is real. So they often use real pictures. Sometimes they include things like charts and graphs and a map that we're going to look at and momentarily that we saw in the last video. So those are all characteristics of nonfiction texts.
All right, so we're going to hop into the vocab. I know that we went over this in our last listening and learning lesson, but because this is part two, we still want you to be aware that these are some vocabulary words that we are going to be finding throughout the text. So the first vocabulary word we really want you to zero in on is the word predators. So predators are animals that hunt and eat other animals, like this cute little lion here. Lions are large predators that hunt other animals living in the savanna.
And our next word is prey. Prey are the animals that are hunted by other animals. So again, like we did in the last lesson, in the picture you see grasshoppers that are camouflaging themselves in the grasses of the grassland, and they are hiding because they don't want to become the prey of the birds or the vultures that we see in the picture at the top of the picture.
And moving down here, if you take a look at my at the cursor, the next word is hardy. So if something is hardy, it's able to survive in unfavorable or harsh conditions. And we learned in our last lesson that the grass and the acacia tree have to really be hardy plants in order to survive in the savanna. And the sentence that goes along with it are cacti are hardy plants able to survive the harsh conditions of the desert.
And coexist means to live peacefully together at the same time or in the same place. So we talked last time about the dog and the cat at grandmother's house. In the example at the bottom, I'll read the sentence real quick. The cat and dog were able to coexist in my grandmother's house. So they live peacefully together at the same time in the same place. We're going to learn about two animals that coexist together in the savanna as we continue our reading today, which I think is really interesting. So I hope you find it interesting too when we get there. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to wait till we get there.
And our very last vocabulary word is the word prickly. So prickly means it's small and sharp. And we learned that the acacia tree has prickly thorns on its branches to protect itself from animals eating too much from the tree. All right, so we're just going to hop right back into the text. Oh, no, we're not. Just kidding, first grade.
Yeah,
we're going to hop into our journal. We're going to hop into the journal. So what we would like you to do is pick one animal that lives in the East African savanna and pick your favorite. And then we want you to tell us, what do you know about this animal? Okay, so think about 3 things that you could tell us about this animal. So we gave you some sentence starters at the bottom in red. The first sentence starter says, one animal is, and then you can tell us the animal that you've chosen. And then a sentence starter that you could possibly use to describe your animal is, I know. All right, we cannot wait to see what your journal entries look like.
We can't wait to read them, so make sure you send them to us.
All right. Just to show you where we are hopping back into, we are going to go back to East Africa to visit the savanna there.
Right, we can see that in yellow.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Stefano. All right. Animals living in the savanna have adapted to their habitat in many ways. Some animals, like the giraffe, have long, powerful legs so that they can quickly run away from predators, animals that hunt and kill other animals. Their long legs also help them travel long distances searching for food. Can you imagine a rat like me keeping up with a giraffe or a zebra? Not a chance. So it's kind of cool that they have these long legs so that they can move further distances. You know, a rat wouldn't be able to move, you know, rat and burrow wouldn't be able to move along like the giraffe can.
If they didn't have those adaptations, then they would become prey for some of the animals that um, want to attack it. So having those long and powerful legs help them to survive in the savannah. So now we see this bird here. It's called an oxpecker. We see the oxpecker on the giraffe, and it looks like they're coexisting together.
There's that vocabulary word.
There it is. Now, there's a little bird that's been sitting on this giraffe the whole time I've been watching. This is the oxpecker. Oxpeckers perch on the backs of large animals. See that in the picture?
There.
This oxpecker will use its sharp claws to hold on to the giraffe, who will hardly even know it's there. The giraffe and the oxpecker coexist. What does that mean, coexist? It means they live together peacefully. The oxpecker feeds on the fleas and ticks living on the giraffe's body and warns the giraffe of any predators that might be trying to sneak up on it. Isn't that interesting? So it's kind of like he's cleaning the giraffe's body when he feeds or eats the fleas and ticks on the giraffe.
Wow, what a good friend to have with you.
Yeah, also warns them of predators. Wow, that is a great friend.
It really is.
In turn, the giraffe will let the oxpecker live on its back and provide the oxpecker food like fleas and ticks, shelter, and protection from predators. The oxpecker will spend most of its life on the giraffe's back. What a partnership. So it's kind of like they're friends, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, it really sounds like they're good friends to have, because the one, you know, does nice things for the other, and then in return, the other does nice things for them. Sounds like a pretty nice friendship to me.
Yeah, I thought when I was reading this that this was the most interesting part of the text for me. This was my favorite part.
Yeah, especially since they're totally different animals. You have a bird and you have a giraffe. I mean, I just really wouldn't expect those two to be friends.
Yeah, and I like how they coexist with each other, and they even help each other.
What a great friendship to talk about.
They help each other survive, really. So
really
to survive without each other.
All right, now we're gonna go back to the zebra. So here I am back in the tall grass, and I bet you recognize the black and white stripes of the zebra. I've just run into it. Zebras are specially adapted to living in the savannah. They have strong, long legs that make them very good at outrunning lions and other predators. That sounds very similar to the giraffe.
Yes, it does.
And the stripes in the zebra's legs and body don't just make it look pretty. They camouflage the zebra against the grass so that the predators can't hear it. Wow. Zebras eat the grass on the savannah, so they are they're herbivores. Sorry, it's difficult to go back and forth and then look at the computer screen. Yeah. But going back into the zebras, they have some wonderful adaptations that help them to survive in the savannah, like their long legs, the camouflage that's on their fur.
So the camouflage makes them hide or makes it harder to see them.
Yes. Now we're hopping into elephants.
Over there, I see the largest land animal in the world. Can you guess what it is? This African elephant is very big and eats up to 400 pounds of trees and grasses every day. That's about the same amount as the weight of 9 first graders.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is.
African elephants are adapted to the hot weather in the savannah. They have huge ears that they flap like fans to stay cool and keep away bugs. They also have thick skin that protects them from branches and thorns. Okay, so remember those thorns, those prickly things that in the last lesson we read about the giraffe's tongue was strong so that it didn't get hurt from the thorns. The elephant's skin is the same way, and then their ears keep the bugs away and help to keep them cool, kind of like in the summertime when we turn on a fan to help stay cool in our homes.
Wow, so they have their own fan that they carry with them.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Do you see the trunk on that elephant? So the trunk is like its long nose. An elephant uses its trunk for all sorts of things. The trunk is, of course, the elephant's nose for breathing and smelling. But the trunk is also used like a hand for lifting things, gathering food, and even holding onto other elephants' tails. Baby elephants or calves use their trunks to grasp other elephants' tails to keep them from wandering away from the rest of the herd and getting lost. Elephants use their trunks to drink water. They suck up water with their trunks and then put the water from the trunk into their mouths. They also use their trunks like a hose for showers and playtime.
Wow, it sounds like their trunk is pretty handy. They need that. What a wonderful adaptation.
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to hop into lions. These animals are lions. Lions live in groups called prides. The females, or lionesses, this is a lioness, do most of the hunting. They are carnivores. That means that they eat other animals, and they hunt zebras, elephants, and all kinds of other savanna animals. Most groups of lions have just one or two male lions. The male lion is huge and incredibly strong. It has a furry mane, powerful jaws, and fearsome claws. Unless this lion meets a stronger lion, no other animal in the savanna habitat can match the lion's strength and power. Animals that are hunted by predators are called prey, just like we talked about in our vocabulary. One of lions' favorite prey to hunt and eat are zebras. Zebras try to use their camouflage, like those stripes that they have along their body, to hide in the grasses of the savanna so that the lions won't see them.
So are lions herbivores?
Nope.
No. No, they're not herbivores. Why not? Herbivores eat only plants. Lions eat only other animals, so that makes them carnivores. So now I see some vultures. Up at the top of this tree, I can see and hear birds that are waiting for the lions to finish eating so they can have dinner. These birds are called vultures. A vulture is a scavenger, which, as you have learned, is an animal that eats leftovers.
All right. So this is right here, this picture that you're seeing is actually called a food chain. So all of the animals and plants you've learned about so far are a part of this food chain. And it's illustrated, you can see, like I said, right here in this image. What do you see at the bottom of the picture? What do you see down here? Well, it's the savanna grass. The arrow points from the savanna grass back to the zebra because the zebra eats the grass. The next arrow points to the zebra, or excuse me, from the zebra to the lion, because you guessed it, the lion eats the zebra. The next picture shows, sorry, it's hard to, like I said, it's hard to go back and forth between the computer and the book. The next picture after the lion is a picture of soil, because eventually the lion dies and its body becomes a part of the soil. Then more grass grows out of that soil and it starts the chain all over again. Next, I think we should head to a habitat that is a bit closer to home and explore some plants and animals that might look quite familiar to us. But for now, I'm gonna go check out some more wildlife. See you later. All right, so now that our friend Rattenborough has hopped off, we're gonna hop into a few questions.
All right, Mrs. Kondo, what animal is this?
Well, I believe this is a zebra, Mr. DeStefano.
How are zebras adapted to living on the savanna?
Well, they have these cool stripes along their fur that camouflage them, and they have long legs for running fast from their predators. Hey, Mr. DeStefano, what animal is this?
That is an elephant.
And how are elephants adapted to living on the savanna?
Well, they have their thick skin that protects them from the sun and heat. They can flap their ears like fans. They can give themselves a shower with their trunk.
Yeah, we learned those trunks are pretty handy.
Yes. What animal is this, Mrs. Kanda?
That's a giraffe.
How are giraffes adapted to living in the savannah?
Well, they have these long necks so that they can eat from the acacia tree. They have long, tough tongues so that they can actually take a bite off of the branches from the acacia tree, because we learned that the acacia tree has a lot of prickly thorns. And they also have very long legs so that they can move around quicker and get away from their predators. Mr. Stefano, what animal is this?
That is the oxpecker.
I'm wondering, it looks like the oxpecker happens to be on the giraffe. How do the oxpecker and the giraffe coexist?
Well, they coexist because the oxpecker eats the bugs that bother the giraffe, and then the giraffe provides food and protection for the oxpecker.
Wow, what a great partnership they've got going on.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, first grade. We've learned about a lot of animals. We actually put some pictures up on the screen now of some of the animals that we went over, this part and the part that we read last time we did a listen and learn lesson, because as I said, the Savannah lesson is in 2 parts. So we want you to think about the animals, and we want you to pick one animal that lives in the East African Savannah. So pick one, pick your favorite, or just pick one that you find very interesting. What do you know about this animal? So tell us about it. And in red, there are sentence starters. The first one says, one animal is, and underneath it, you have the sentence starter, I know. We cannot wait to see your responses to the journal question, first grade. Make sure to send them in on Dojo Messenger, or you could even just type it out in the comments. We love to hear from you.
Yeah, we're interested to find out what animal in the East African savannah is your favorite.
All right, first, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I just said, and what do you remember about it?
All right, first grade, that's all for now. We miss you so much. Thank you for joining us in the East African Savannah. We miss you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, first grade.
Bye-bye.